What up, everybody? My name is DJ Marcus J, aka Mr. Block Party, and welcome to another episode of the Metaversal Mindset Podcast. I am in the studio with a guest who I have actually been looking forward to getting a chance to sit down and talk to for a long while now. This guest is an entrepreneur, and I'm going to quote her bio. She refers to herself as a female powerhouse. I love that. She has a passion for empowering women through motivational speaking, engagements, fostering confidence, and professional growth. She is the founder of the Viva Coach Experience, which we're definitely going to spend some time talking about. She is a champion of equality, diversity, inclusion, and equity. And from day one, that is all I've known her to be. I don't want to talk too much myself here, but I really want to introduce to you all the one and only Viva Coach. Viva Coach, thank you for coming to the podcast.
My pleasure, my absolute pleasure. I've been really looking forward to do this.
Definitely been looking forward to having you. So this will be definitely one of my favorite episodes. I love all the episodes, but this will be one of my favorite ones here. So.
Thank you.
Well, let's get things started. Can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Of course, yes. So I'm the Viva Coach. I am life coach for women and business coach for all. I am a management consultant, an award-winning and a chartered management consultant, practicing client work for over 24 years. So I've got a huge sort of years of experience sitting behind me, working with some absolutely fantastic businesses in all industries. I do specialize in government and health industries, but I am a cross-industry expert. And in delivering work for my clients, I often deliver tech-enabled programs of transformational change for them. I'm also a female entrepreneur of businesses both in real life as well as in the metaverse. And of course, in the metaverse, you know that as the Viva Coach Experience and myself as the Viva Coach. I'm also someone, you've already touched on this, absolutely very, very passionate about female empowerment and everything equality, diversity, and equity related. And that is something that I've always backed, always been passionate about, always worked in that space. And that is exactly why I actually dedicate my life coaching services to women, whereas my business coaching services are available to all. And that's the Viva Coach. Outside of all of that, I'm a mother to two beautiful kids. They're both at university, so they're grown up. I live at home with my husband and my little dog. And that's the Viva Coach.
Sorry, I just pictured an avatar of your avatar, your husband's avatar, and a little dog just in a tiny home from Yada. Shout out to Yada, but I just had that vision just now. So, all right, well, I want to ask you, can you share with everyone a little bit of your journey first coming into the metaverse? Like what brought you into here and what's kept you in the metaverse?
Of course. I was actually reached out to come in as a keynote speaker at an event that was held back in, I think, about September, October time last year. It was Birth of the Bosses. It was led by Boss Leo. I know a lot of people know Boss Leo really well in this space. And it was her event, and I came in as a keynote speaker. So I actually came in a professional capacity, if you like, into this space. I know a lot of stories, a lot of great stories I hear are of those that came in from a social aspect, of metaverse or for entertainment purposes. But mine actually was very much led by that professional reasoning behind it. And I really enjoyed it. I am an entrepreneur at heart. So as soon as I hopped into metaverse and kind of, found my feet in here, I realized that this is an amazing land of opportunities, a technology that is still emerging, still forming. So we're in early days and we kind of, can be part of that growth in this space as well. So yeah, I came in, I really liked sort of, the networks that were being established, really like some of the great businesses that were being, coming into power and establishment. And I kind of thought, I think I would like to do more in this space, and rest is history, essentially.
Okay. You mentioned once you got into here, you saw this was a land of opportunity. Can you share with the audience some of the opportunities that you came across when you first hit here?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you can sort of, almost, there's so many components to that, right? So there's an element of true community and network. There is a global community in this space. Now, how many times can we get up in the morning, spend a day, and kind of before you go to bed, you think of to yourself, wow, I spoke to someone in the US, I spoke to someone in Germany, I spoke to someone in the UK, and I also spoke to someone elsewhere, right? So the network and the reach to people is absolutely amazing. Forming those communities, especially for me, I find there's There's some great business communities in here, some absolute talent in terms of sort of, different industries coming together. So that was one opportunity that I saw, the people opportunity, the community opportunity, the business opportunity. The other element of this is that it's an emerging technology, which means getting to understand and know this can only mean sort of, better layout for future, essentially. So being part of that growth and beta, essentially, I saw that as an opportunity in itself as well. It's not fully formed, it's still getting there, still finding its grounds, and actually to be able to tap into some of that, that felt like a great opportunity to me as well. And then also it's an opportunity for those who perhaps have different professions in the real world, come into this space, find a new talent, find a new hobby, or an existing talent, hobby, and a passion that they haven't been able to give time to in the real world. And this place, Metaverse right here, allows you to do exactly that. It allows you to tap into some of that and be whoever you want to be and bring forth your talents and passions in the way that perhaps you can't in real world, whether that is because of time commitments, cost issues, etc. Metaverse allows you so many different opportunities in many ways.
I try to tell people when I talk to them about the metaverse that this really isn't just playing a game. I mean, if you want to play games, you can play games. If you want to be serious about business, you can do that as well.
That's
so
right.
It is an amazing thing here that you have the full gambit for anybody when it comes to opportunities, because there are some people who, as I jokingly refer to this, the metaverse sometimes can be a practice field, so to say. There may be some endeavors that you want to do outside the headset that, you may not have the resources, you may not be 100% vested into doing that. There's a chance that you may be able to do it into here, kind of develop it, then take it outside the headset.
Absolutely. And there are people who can help you do that, right? Like, I mean, myself, I'm obviously offering business coaching services and life coaching services, but then I know sort of, look at Jen Smash, G Juice who are offering finance services, Boss Leo, Black Sands offering business opportunity services, Maddie, Tony, event management, etc. There's so many opportunities for different people to be able to come in, take some of those sort of, skills and share some of those SME expertise and take that back into their own space. 100%.
I truly enjoy when you speak to a person and they may have said, you know what, I wanted to be in cinematography for like the last 40 years, but I can't buy the camera. I don't have the crew. I don't have all the equipment. I can't. And then they come into the metaverse and they get a chance and they try something that literally costs them a few pennies, if that.
It's crazy, right?
And all of a sudden they discover that passion is a reality for them now.
Yeah. And that's it. And sometimes, well, in fact, at any point, you can do that sitting from yourself, sitting in your living room. You do not necessarily have to make long journeys to get into big cities to be able to sort of, create that reality. You can actually do that sitting on your couch. And that's the kind of, the extent of it is just absolutely unreal. And when you start thinking, I mean, again, if I put my equality hat on, when you start thinking about those who perhaps have mobile issues, or mobility issues, who perhaps need different ways of interacting with the world outside, then actually metaverse allows you to bring some of that sort of as benefits to them right there, right at home.
I love the level playing field in here for everybody. I won't go into it specifically, but we mutually know somebody who is a double amputee.
Yes.
And whether we think about it or not, an amazing thing is every time we have a conversation with that person, we're always eye to eye.
Yeah.
Just one of the many things that when it comes to the metaverse, leveling of playing field, that I don't think that people really understand or truly hear.
No, that's it. I mean, the opportunity. And the other thing is this is true in real life as well, right? What you put into something is what you're going to get out of it. That's also true for metaverse as well. You've got to still have focus. You've got to still have clarity. You've got to still have very clear goals and sort of, objectives set in front of you for you to really see that success. But it's there for you to grab, for sure.
I like when you said focus, because something that I've noticed myself, I feel that you have to have even more focus in here than outside the headset, mainly because there's more opportunities here. Today you can be a doctor. Tomorrow you can be a fireman.
That's true.
You can be a pilot the next. And I'm jokingly saying this, but there's just so many opportunities here.
No,
you can actually get easily lost.
It can be distraction at the same time, right? Absolutely.
I've learned that. Well, I tell you what, I don't want to get distracted now, because one thing that I really want to speak to you about and let the people know is about your master's class that you have here in the metaverse.
Mm-hmm.
So can you tell the people about it, and also what prompted you to go ahead and create that master's class?
So my masterclass, the Viva Masterclass, is part of components of learning and growth through the Viva Coach Experience. And there's a reason why I have experience in the name, because, it's all about learning and growth. I'm a lifelong learner myself. If you ask me, did you sit some kind of exam or read some kind of book or, listen to some kind of podcast just yesterday, I would say yes. And that's the kind of person I am. And I wanted to create a learning and growth experience for people in the metaverse, which meant that they had options of how they interacted with that learning and growth, and that they had opportunity to have that personalized to their own ways of learning and growth as well. So masterclass is one of the ways that you can do that at the Viva Coach Experience. I have the podcast, I have the Viva Talk, I have the Viva Masterclass, and then I have the Viva coaching services as well. So what happens in the Viva Coach Experience every month is that there's a topic of the month. And for July, that is business strategy. So I do a podcast on business strategy, which is open to all. And I have a guest who come on as an expert to talk to me, about that topic. Then I do a masterclass, which is a 90 minutes solution in a box masterclass. That's a paid for service, but it allows you to come in and have a solution in your hand as you leave after 90 minutes. So for business strategy this month, for example, all the participants will come in for their businesses and will develop a blueprint of their business strategy in those 90 minutes. I'll have all the tools, the resources that they need to be able to do that. Of course, they'll leave and then they will be able to add more to it and develop it further and define it even in more detail. But the masterclass will allow them to have a first draft in their hand so that they can actually just run with it and work on it. And that's the idea of the masterclasses, is to be able to give you a solution within 90 minutes in your hand. I did the same for personal branding topic in May, where they were able to have a personal brand in their hand on a page as they left. I did the same for artificial intelligence in month of June, where they actually had the tools that they can use straight after the masterclass. And then this month on business strategy. Then I do coaching services. So they're more personalized. So they have one-on-one coaching services. And then the Viva Talk is a panel of experts that come together at the end of the month with me to talk about that topic as well. So masterclass is a key component of whole of that learning and growth experience at the Viva Coach Experience.
When I did a little research before we spoke here today, I did look at the Viva Coach Experience, and that was something that I thought was amazing. It is a fully encompassing experience. And it's not random. You kind of hinted at this before. You said yourself, outside the headset, yes, you will listen to a podcast. Yes, you may listen to a life coach. Yes, you may listen to whatever the case. But the fact that you implemented things that you actually enjoy outside the headset because your guess was you figure others would. How easy or how challenging was it to actually bring that into the headset?
I think being an entrepreneur for years, I've learned a number of different things, and I was able to bring my lessons learned with me in this space. The space is new. So one thing that I have quite quickly learned, for example, as a businesswoman, is that the pricing strategy is very different in Metaverse. So that's one thing. In terms of the service offer itself, it's actually not too different. In the way I deliver it is different. So the channel is different. The pricing is different. Some of the timings are different across all of those different components. But actually, if you look at the structure of the service, the value proposition is very much the same in the real life as it is in the metaverse. But the business strategy that is backing my metaverse venture looks very different. Like I've said, so the market is different, the competition is different, and therefore my proposition is different in here slightly, and my pricing strategy is certainly different in that case as well.
My whole purpose of asking that question is a lot of times when we speak to people outside the headset, we are, and I'm quite sure you come into this, we're convincing people, hey, this is a place you should look into. This is technology you should go ahead and try. And I can't emphasize enough the transition from what you may do outside the headset, bringing it into here. Yes, there will be some things that you have to change, but it's a great
Mm-hmm.
chance it would be a lot more fluid than you really believe it will be
Yeah.
for the average
Mm-hmm.
person. So I cannot emphasize that enough. If you have ideas that you're thinking about bringing into the metaverse, go ahead and bring them in here. Give them a test. See if it works out.
Absolutely.
Collab with some
Absolutely.
amazing people. Viva Coach is one of them, as you see here. We've had Black Sands in here in the past. We've had several people, but I encourage you, go ahead, step into here, give it a try and see what may happen.
That's it. Absolutely.
And speaking of giving it a try, we're not even 10 episodes into this podcast here, our Metaverse Mindset Podcast. So, with everything that you're doing, again, I know you have your show. What
Mm-hmm.
specifically prompted you to say, you know what? I need to add a podcast to everything?
Look, I genuinely believe in there's so many subject matter experts around us in this space as well as in the real life, right? So for me to have a topic every month, it is just great to be able to bring new perspectives in. It's great to be able for me to be even challenged at times in terms of my ways of thinking and my guest ways of thinking. And I wanted, like I say, I want my viewers, I want my participants, I want my clients to have a holistic learning experience. And that can't come from just one person. That has got to come from a collective community of subject matter experts. And that's why I wanted to have these different components that deliver slightly different in terms of what they offer, even if the topic of the month is same on them. So having a podcast where I have a subject matter expert that comes on board and sort of, we have this conversation with my guests, and we often unpack some new aspects. We often sort of, agree on a number of different things. We may even challenge each other on different aspects. And what that does is it allows my participants, my clients, and our audience to be able to take different perspectives away with them. And it just enhances that learning experience, I think. So for me, it's really important that I tap into my network and bring their perspectives back into that space as well.
Every day I'm learning more. And so the importance of collaboration here in the
Absolutely.
metaverse. We were
That's
blessed to
it.
have a music conference 2 weeks
Mm-hmm.
ago. And
Mm-hmm.
during that conference, blessed to have our fair share of panelists that came up. And so we had at least 50 plus different
Mm-hmm.
perspectives on the metaverse for people to see. There's things that I've been
Isn't
telling
that
people for
amazing?
months, fellow DJs. They heard another voice say it one time and it clicked for them at that moment. Like, oh, that's why you do
That's
that.
it.
And I'm kind of looking
Yeah.
like I've been saying this for the last year, but that's just how it happens to go
It just
sometimes.
sometimes people can relate to different people in different ways, and everyone have their story, and certain people can sort of link in and relate better with one story than the other. And like you say, the message sometimes is the same, but how it lands and how you sort of tune into it can be different with different people. So yeah, I think collaboration, working together, creating networks, I mean, that's another one of my passions. I mean, that is exactly why. So if someone wants to ask me, if you were a social media, what would you be? And I said LinkedIn, because I genuinely believe in professionalism, and I genuinely believe in creating community and networks of professionals to come together and work together and deliver together. So yeah, I think it's really, really important for us to tap into each other's talents and knowledge as well. Absolutely.
You know what? I like that question. I'm going to have to use that sometime here in the future. If you were a social network, which one would you be? So I like that question.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I definitely thank you for coming through. And it's like I said, I want to give people a chance to, outside the headset, to learn what we do in here, get an idea. There are some
Yeah.
amazing people in here. And I promise you, with Viva Coach, we barely even scratched the surface. And what I want to do is two things. I have one more question for sure. But
Mm-hmm.
before we get out of here, I want to actually extend an invite. You gave me an idea for another show episode. A
Mm-hmm.
few of the people that you named during this show, I would love to bring you all in and have you all jointly together on an episode.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, that
I
would be
won't mention all the names
fantastic.
because I'm not sure, but I got a strong feeling that they would be interested in doing it as well. But
I think so.
I truly love when we have shows, when we bring together some titans of industry,
Mm-hmm.
people who are really doing things in here in the metaverse.
Yeah.
And yes, you definitely gave me an idea of a show that I think would truly be amazing. So thank you for that.
Amazing. I'm
Thank
pleased.
you
I'm
for
so
that.
pleased.
Thank you for that. Well, I do want to ask you before we get up out of here, what are your next big plans in the metaverse? Anything that you care to share with us? It may even be something that you're currently doing. Like maybe you want to give
Mm-hmm.
people some more information on the Viva Coach Experience and how
Mm-hmm.
they can be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the case may be, you have as much time as you want. please let everybody know what
Fantastic.
your
But
plans are
look,
for the future.
I've always said this. What if the next big thing is 1,000 small things, right? So the Viva Coach Experience is a newly established business in the metaverse. I want to ensure that I continue doing what I'm doing with consistency, with constancy, and with clarity so that my audience, my participants, my clients in the future can understand fully what the service offer at Viva Coach Experience is. So my next big thing is the 1,000 small things. My next big thing is to continue to bring topic of the month each month to ensure that I'm able to add value to everyone who's listening into my podcast so that I have great guests on my podcast, to continue to deliver masterclasses. I'm getting some absolutely fantastic feedback on these masterclasses, and I want to continue to ensure that I get more and more people onto those masterclasses so that they can go away and establish their businesses with the most success ahead of them. And I want to ensure that I'm able to coach people through their life coaching goals, through their business coaching goals, so that they achieve fulfillment and success in their life as well. I've been an entrepreneur for a very long time. It looks very glamorous, and it is when the success comes, but it's hard work. So as a coach, I want to ensure that my clients feel safe, that they feel protected, safe, supported, and that they feel that they can focus on things with the right resources and tools at hand. And that's what I want to achieve as a coach in this space. So I'm going to go from month to month, keep bringing the topic of the month, keep doing the podcast, the masterclass, the Viva Talk, and the coaching services all around all of that. And the next masterclass actually on 17th of July at 7 p.m. EST. I do them in Horizon Workrooms. It's an absolutely fantastic opportunity for anyone who's thinking of setting up a business in the metaverse, or who may already have an established business but want to redefine their business strategy, to come along and create a blueprint of their business strategy. I absolutely find so much joy when people go away from these classes and then message me back to say, I did this today differently, or I did that today differently. And that's what I want to keep doing, Marcus. So my next big thing is the 1,000 small things. I want to continue with what I'm doing and deliver impact and hopefully get some really good feedback from which I can then redefine and do more.
Consistency. I like that.
Mhm.
You heard it here. She's going to keep doing what she's been doing. Point blank. If it's working, why fix it?
Absolutely. And look, going forward, I'm very keen to start bringing in some executive masterclasses as well for those seasoned entrepreneurs and business people in this space as well as in real life. And I want to open up more spaces for my coaching clients as well. I've got clients coming to me that are asking for coaching services, and my coaching calendar is very full at the moment. So hopefully with time, what I want to do is be able to open more places for my clients too.
Viva Coach, I definitely want to thank you for coming through to the podcast. I'm glad that we actually got a chance to talk. I have to say a special thank you to someone who made this possible. Because we've spoken a couple of times, like, hey, we need to catch up. And in these metaverse traces, I said before, there's so much going on. You see a person today, you may not see him for another month. You may see him 5 times this week. You never know. And it may be in passing. But there's a person who I have to say a special thank you, who say, you know what, we're going to make this happen. And that is People's Publicist. People's PR.
She is amazing.
People's PR. So she is a publicist outside of the headset as well as inside of the headset.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, Peoples, we can get you on the podcast one day. But
She'll
I definitely have to say a special
amazing.
thank you to her
Absolutely.
for that.
Yeah, she's my publicist and she's amazing. Like you've said, she's doing this in the real world. She's doing this in here. So she's bringing wealth of experience into this space and sharing that across with everyone else in this space as well. So absolutely, absolute gem and a talent.
People's Publicists, we need help as well. I'll be reaching out. Viva Coach, again, I want to thank you for coming through. I truly appreciate it. This was definitely an episode that I've been looking forward to. And as I said before, we do want to invite you to come back. I'll get you some details here very shortly. But we really want to have you on for another episode. You just inspire me to do
so much. I've really enjoyed this. Thank you so much for making time. And thank you for having me here. I've really enjoyed it.
No problem at all. Thank you for all that you do in the metaverse for everybody. But as a man here in the metaverse, I definitely have to say thank you for all that you're doing to empower women here in the metaverse. I truly appreciate that.
Thank you. We need allies. We definitely need allies. So thank you.
That is true. We need allies. We need to collab in here. No one makes it here in this metaverse by themselves. So no matter what you're doing, I promise you.
And the success tastes even better when you do it together. I'm telling you.
There you go. Again, my name is DJ Marcus J, aka Mr. Block Party. I want to thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Metaversal Mindset Podcast. I even said my own name wrong. And today we were joined by the Viva Coach. Until next time, peace.